What's up, guys? Welcome back to Big Jon'S Cooking, another episode. Today I am showing you all how to take care of cast iron 101. So yeah, not gonna wait too much longer. You know the usual: like, comment, subscribe, all that, share, the show love, support. So yeah, let's get right into it. Cast iron 101, and let's go. Alright, so first is the egg test. This is not all that glossy, not all that shiny. This is one of the two we're going to get back into shape. Yeah, the egg test. It's suggested that you try cooking an egg to see if it sticks or not. And if it does, then it obviously needs more. You can do it with a new one as well, but this is not a new one, so we're going to try it on here to see how it fares. And yeah, you can use any oil. Using olive oil, just doing one egg. We're gonna heat it up, of course, turn it on, and crack the egg. So it sticks a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Alright, cleaning your cast iron. What I usually do is, first, you can wash your cast iron, you can clean it. First, one of the things that you need is a metal brush. One one of these, everybody knows what this is. But a metal brush and or some hot water. So yeah, this one's already still warm from when we were using it from when I did the egg test. So I can just go ahead and apply some water and should be able to scrape all this off. But if it's kind of stuck on there a little bit, or hardened on there, then either just heat it back up till it's nice and warm, and then scrape it off with some water or something in your scraper, or put some water in it and then bring it to either almost boiling or bring it to boiling, so it kind of heats that and loosens up the food, and after that then scrape that off. And the fact that you're boiling some water in there, it's not really going to damage the layers too much. So yeah, but I'm about to go ahead and scrape this, and we're going to move on to the next step. And now that we've washed our cast iron, go ahead and wipe it dry with a microfiber cloth or towel, just not a paper towel. That will get tissue all over your cast iron. You have to pick it off, and it's just a mess more than a cleanup. So again, you can wash your cast iron, you can, but now that we've cleaned our cast iron, on to the next step. Alright, next, pick your oil. So you can really use any oil you want. I highly suggest you using a high smoke point oil, because it only makes sense, like, you're using a cast iron and you're going to be heating it up. You need, okay, first of all, re-seasoning or seasoning your cast iron is just another term for lubricating your cast iron. That's basically what you're doing. You're giving it a protective layer that will polymerize, and it will help create a non-stick effect, and it also makes it shinier and helps things cook better on it. You're especially going to need that if you're cooking something like a steak or something like that, or if you're reverse searing, you're putting it in the oven, doing it at high heats. You're especially going to need something that can withstand, you're going to need an oil that has a high smoke point. So there are many oils you can use. I'll place them up on the screen for you, a picture, so you can have the information. I suggest good old avocado oil for it. Has the highest smoke point and neutral in flavor. You know, is light and also very healthy for you. And just many other, it has multiple uses and just many other benefits and uses from it. So I say go with avocado. Some people use canola. Some people may use bacon fat. I wouldn't suggest that, but do as you please in your kitchen with your items. So on to the next step. All right, so here is my cast iron. I left it out for a week. Dang, I forgot to show you all what it looked like before we did this. Anyways, I left it out for a month. Maybe a month and a week. Here I have it, soaking in half distilled vinegar and half water. Take it out, scrape it down, and I'll let you know what I'm doing afterwards. Alright, so I don't know if you can see the state of this cast iron, but trying to show you all. There we go. It is not in the best state. It's a little rust on there. Looking a little bad, just a little nasty, but we're gonna clean that right off. That's why we're here. So I just dumped took it out the acid bath. Yeah, just go ahead and sprinkle some baking powder on there. Generous amount. Neutralize the acid. Right after you do that, go ahead and aggressively scrub it with your metal scraping pad. This thing's dirty, and it's starting to look like the other one. Honestly, like it's been used for a long time. It's not as shiny. Doesn't feel as slick. Looks a little dull, but we're gonna fix that. All right, once you get done scraping, go ahead and rinse. Go ahead and just rinse and scrape until the rust is gone. All right, finish that. And one more thing I forgot to mention is I let the you can let the cast iron sit in the acid bath for for about an hour. I ended up doing 2 hours. I went to the store to get something, but you can do it for up to 4 hours, but 1 hour usually works completely fine. So yeah. All right, once you get done scraping and rinsing it, go ahead and just get a towel and start drying it off, all the corners. All right, now to completely get it dry, you can place it in a 350 degree oven for about 5 to 10 minutes, or you can just put over a fire stove real quick for a minute to, just to heat it up a little bit, get all the water off and out. All right, so now it's time to season both cast irons. The first thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 500. The very first thing you want to do. On to the next step. All right, so after you preheat your oven to 500, you want to go ahead and turn on your stove. Turn on about medium. I do it a little bit above. And just let it warm up, let it heat up. Let the pores of the cast iron open, get some heat in there. And then after that, we're gonna put some oil on it, apply a thin layer of oil to it, and then put it in the oven. Well, we're gonna do that to both of them, and then put them in the oven so the oils can polymerize and make a layer of oil. And under that, we're going to put one of these, and you will see what the action of doing all of this looks like in a bit. Yes. All right, it's been on the heat between 3 and 5 minutes. Not that long. And I'm going to use the baking tray as the tray. I'm going to put my put the cast iron on, you know, so the heat won't be right on directly on the counter. And just gonna pour in a little bit of oil, probably about 2 teaspoons is enough. That should be enough for the whole thing. Take you a rag, not a paper towel, a rag, and just wipe the oil around. And I've done this process on these 2 cast irons probably about, this is probably about the 4th time. This is gonna be the last time. Just showing you all how to do this. And this is gonna give them a very, very oiled up and seasoned layer on them. Once you put the oil on it and you already got your oven set to 500, just go ahead and throw it in there for an hour. I'm gonna let this one sit to the side while we get the next one ready, and then I'm gonna put them in at the same time. Let's check the other one because that one's been on the stove while we've been doing this. Yeah, this is nice and hot. Big man, now this is mine. Got some avocado oil ready. We're just gonna do the same to that one. This one. Remember I said thin layer, thin layer. Because you don't want it to pool, which is like when the oil starts to clump up and while it's in there it gets sticky and everything. But it shouldn't pool. If you have it turned upside down, it should just drip, which is why you have the baking tray under it. Ooh. Alright, time to put her in. Got some aluminum foil on the side because I'm doing 2 and it takes up a bigger surface area than the size of the baking tray I had, so, or have. Can't be too careful. The handle on this cast iron is not too hot, so I'm putting it in by hand. But if it was too hot, then I would have used one of these. This is not too hot, it's bearable. It's bearable for a second, at least. Go ahead and set your timer for an hour. And yeah. Looking a lot glossier, a lot shinier. That's the smaller one. Here goes mine. Look at that reflection. And it may be a little brown still, but that's okay. That's gonna darken up with use and with time. And that's just the layers that are polymerized. I'm gonna try the egg test on both of these. See what happens. This egg test thing is kind of new to me. I've never done this up until me making this video, but outside of that, everything else. I'm gonna let this heat up. And I'm gonna show y'all. We're gonna see what happens with the egg test. Alright, we are hot. We are ready. We are steamy. We shall apply some oils. Ooh. That is perfect, that is enough. We're gonna spread that baby. Maybe more than one, to be honest. We're gonna crack one egg. Sizzle. Nope, it is not sticking. I mean, sure, it cooks on there, but it doesn't get stuck, I'll tell you that. Personally, I don't know if I think that the egg test actually works. if that's the thing that actually works. But it is giving it a better non-stick effect. Moving on. Alright, so seasoning your cast iron isn't hard at all. Very easy. It may take a little bit of elbow grease if you are restoring it, but outside of that, it's in the oven most of the time. I will say, if your cast iron is sticky when you're done seasoning it, it means you put too much oil on, and that'll just get into the pores of the cast iron over time through use. If it is sticky, it just too much oil has been applied. That's all. And there's a few do's and don'ts. With cast irons, you really just don't want to cook anything acidic for the most part. Like taco seasoning, tomato sauce, things highly acidic. Outside of that, a recap. Know what oil you want to choose and the contents of the oil, mainly the smoking temperature, to coat your cast iron or to use to season your cast iron. You can clean it, and it's very easy to clean it. I like to use heat and water. Those are my two. And of course, a metal scraping pad is like the best thing to use to clean a cast iron. How to season it? Very easy. Just heat, oil, oven, and then rinse and repeat for as many times as you want. Restoring is literally the last thing with an acid bath before you do the whole thing. That's all it really is. That's all restoring really is. Just an acid bath to get rid of the rust and some baking soda. You put some baking soda on it to neutralize the acid in the acid bath, and then you rinse it off. You heat it up. You apply some oil. You put it in the oven. Heat it up. Apply some oil. Oven as many times as you want. You get the picture. So yeah, that's my cast iron video. I feel like it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Yeah, if you learned anything, if you enjoyed, if you want to support, subscribe, like, comment, and share as well. Thank you for supporting. Till next time. Big Jon'S Cooking. Peace. I'm done.